I've always been fascinated by the sheer brutality of ancient Rome, and boy, does this story take the cake. A former gladiator leads a massive slave rebellion that sends shockwaves through the mighty Roman Empire. Sounds like the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster, right? Well, buckle up, because the real story of Spartacus is way more intense than any movie could capture. And trust me, the Romans' idea of justice makes modern punishments look like a slap on the wrist. So let's set the scene. It's 73 BCE, and Rome is at the height of its power. Slaves are everywhere, doing everything from farming to teaching to, well, dying for entertainment in the arena. Enter Spartacus, the Thracian warrior who's been enslaved and forced to become a gladiator. Now, you'd think being trained to fight and kill might not be the smartest move when it comes to keeping your slaves in line, but hey, hindsight is 20/20ths, right? Anyway, Spartacus decides he's had enough of this whole fight to the death for rich people's amusement gig and stages a breakout from his gladiator school. And he doesn't stop there. Oh no, this guy's got ambition. He starts rallying other slaves to his cause, and before you know it, he's got an army of tens of thousands. The Romans, being Romans, respond with their usual tact and restraint. And by that, I mean they send in the legions to crush this upstart rebellion. Now, the Romans were many things, but merciful wasn't one of them. When it came to dealing with rebellions, they had a simple philosophy: crush it so hard that no one would ever think of rebelling again. Fun fact, this is where we get the term decimation from. The Romans would literally kill 1 in every 10 soldiers in a unit that had failed or rebelled. Talk about strict workplace policies, huh? But for Spartacus and his followers, they had something special in mind. After finally defeating the slave army in 71 BCE, the Romans decided to make an example of the survivors. And by make an example, I mean commit one of the most gruesome acts of mass execution in history. So, imagine you're a traveler on the Via Appia, minding your own business, when suddenly you come across a horrifying sight. Every 100 meters along the road, there's a cross, and on each cross, a crucified slave. This goes on for miles and miles and miles, creating a nightmarish gauntlet of human suffering. The Romans crucified around 6,000 slaves in this manner, turning the road into a grisly warning to anyone who might think of challenging Roman authority. Now, you might be thinking, surely this was too much, even for the Romans? But nope. For them, this was just good governance. It wasn't just about punishing Spartacus's followers. It was about sending a message. A very loud, very clear, very painful message that said, this is what happens when you mess with Rome. And let me tell you, that message was received loud and clear. It would be centuries before anyone dared to challenge Roman authority on such a scale again. So yeah, that's the cheery tale of Spartacus, and how Rome decided to redecorate their favorite road with thousands of crucified slaves. It's a grim reminder of just how brutal the ancient world could be, but it's also a testament to the human spirit. After all, Spartacus and his followers chose to fight for their freedom, even knowing the terrible fate that awaited them if they failed. And while they may have lost the battle, their story has inspired people for centuries. Oh, sir, next time someone tells you to be more like the Romans, Maybe remind them of this little incident, just the